Hey friends, it's B2, and we're going to start chronicling the war between Pyrrhus and the Last Legion. So we just got back into the game, just got back into this guild, and I'm going to load up who I am. So I'm Argentina in this map, and as you can tell, we've already marched through Uruguay, Paraguay, and Bolivia. So, well, Bolivia's kind of on the way, if you will. We got lucky, and we are two-man in all of the Americas, North America, South America, Canada, like all of it. So so we're pretty fortunate that leaves two less people in the fray. And you can see as we've got Mozambique, Namibia, and South Africa down here. Well, actually, I think it was just Namibia and South Africa, and Mozambique is what they took over. We went with a 10-day ceasefire, which is kind of cool. You know, with having to use right-of-ways if stuff gets dicey, but it's worked out fairly well. You can see that that Angola came up here. We took Cameroon, went down and took Luanda, and then Cameroon is buffering them in, right? So it looks like what they're going to try to do is when the war actually breaks out on day 10 is just have troops stacked around Luanda to go all in, basically. So but you can see the movements here and people boxing in. It looks like Egypt has just failed to launch. They're not really doing much. Libya's taking out Tunisia. We've got Cameroon going into Chad, Nigeria, and Ghana, as well as Kenya taking over Ethiopia and helping close out Chad too. So it looks like these guys are going to spread fairly fast in here. Europe is a wreck. Look at this map. I can't wait for it to pop off over here. Greece decided to go east into Turkey because Serbia, who actually is on the other team, but I usually will go in and trade embargo people just so they can't buy goods from us if we're trying to swap goods between our players or whatever, you know, if we're trying to sell to our own team, which is legal. But Serbia has gone all the way up into just about Austria and kind of boxed Greece in. So Greece just went and took Turkey, and then of course Iraq into Syria and Kuwait, or Syria into Iraq and Kuwait. I don't know who's, yeah, see, there we go. Oh, same team, there we go. No, occupied province. Yeah, so he was Syria, and took Iraq and Kuwait. There we go. Spain takes Portugal and moves to France. And then it looks like, I don't know what happened here, but this looks like somebody came through and cut them off. That territory will probably come back, but they're making a march from my side to try to get in there for sure. Plane flying there. So he's going to come and cut off the coast and leave a pocket in there. That's kind of a weird way to do it, but the UK obviously going into Ireland, so kind of neat. And then we have Sweden going into Finland, and then up towards Russia. Poland hit down here as the other team as well. So kind of a really neat map taking shape already. Kazakhstan, bordered by China and India. Philippines taking over on the side on day 2. I like that. And we have Japan, which that's going to be an interesting one. So China has chosen to take the seaport here, it looks like, in Vladivostok, to cut Japan completely off from being able to fly anywhere or really take anything without having to build a navy. So these waters should be pretty contested, but they're buffering Russia with Mongolia. So in order for Russia to get down, you know, who is not a player, it's AI, so they'll have to come through Mongolia or attack at these little choke points here. So that's an interesting tactic. And then of course there's nobody down in Australia. Pretty neat. We'll take a look at this at the leaderboard and sort. Cyclone from China is in number 1 at 154. Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, the Hillbilly Reaper, guys all on my team. And then Poland Canuck is the next one. Oh, look at that, I popped on the top there. Imagine that. General Burnside, Serbia, he's just really taking a lot of stuff. Esvedin for Greece. So it's not that bad. That's a look at the scoreboard for the day. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay tuned for the next day. I'm going to record these in advance and then put them all out at once in one long video. So stay tuned. Everybody, so it's been a few days since we have touched on Conflict of Nations. And so I'm going to do a quick update on there, and we are going to jump to day 7 of Argentina. Now this is our alliance match. And I can show it to you on the other screen here, right here, with Last Legion and Pyrrhus. I don't know why it's this open slots -3. There's not 27 players in here. Oh, Conflict of Nations. So anyway, we're Argentina. I got smacked down by Peru up here. The last couple of territories all their troops are in these 2 cities. So I'm going to choke them out. It's a computer player. See right here on computer player. So I'm going to choke them out a little bit and get all their manpower going, because when you take these little provinces, plus 70, plus 60, 697, like that's a lot. So we are 3 days and a start, so really 2.5 days and a start away from our wartime. We give a 10-day peace. So on hour 00 of day 11, you can attack away. Other than that, you give right-of-ways, and whoever is first at the territory is the person who keeps it. So we've taken Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and most of Peru. I don't know that I'm going to go for Chile yet. The UK is being sneaky. They think that I don't see them down here in Port Stevens and next to them in Stanley, and they built an airfield and a Navy wharf, so they're going to try to invade from the south, or at least position themselves to feel like they're going to attack from the south. But we are going to actually reinforce in Africa. So if they do come after us, they would be sacrificing, if they come after me from the south side there, they're going to be sacrificing a lot of troops that could have been used somewhere else. And so we're kind of like putting me out there. If they attack me, I'm going to let them take the bottom part of Argentina. I'm not going to fight back. I'm going to let them run up the coast for a couple of days and think they got away with everything. I've also got a bunch of strike fighters and a bunch of air support going. So I would just need to turn around and throw some troops at it to deal with it. And those would be the troops up here that I'm going to rest in Cusco. I'm building a military hospital up here to handle resting my troops, and then I'll just march them down back into the territories, and we'll play that game of you march here, I march there, right? So if you look at Venezuela, they've come down, taken Colombia, Ecuador, and they're also helping with Peru. Cameroon flew across and took part of Brazil just for the extra resources, and then they're going to head back across the ocean. But at least that gives them an out too. If they get pushed out of Africa, they at least have a stronghold in Brazil where they can launch from. So again, neither one of us got Canada, US, or Mexico, so that all is land up for grabs. UK did come up and grab Iceland. Pretty smart to grab that extra morale. The one extra city in Reykjavik. And then they took Ireland, of course, and they cut off Spain and France. So Spain kind of got bubbled in. I don't know why Spain didn't come down and take Mali, though, for sure. Libya has stretched all the way across. Kenya came over and grabbed some territory. So we're looking good. DR Congo is actually on their team as well. They did not trade embargo me, which typically happens. So they also have pretty much all of South Africa, and we have the middle. They have Egypt, who the Egypt player has not been that active. So maybe we'll be able to come down there. Let's see if any of them actually went full inactive, and they did not. Usually doesn't happen during alliance matches, but still like to check. They also have Saudi Arabia right here. So Saudi Arabia and Egypt got boxed in by Iran and Turkey. Up in this, actually Greece. Greece came over and took all of Turkey. And then Romania and Poland and their team up top is looking strong. They've also got Kazakhstan. Nobody had Russia, so our China blew up the side here, went after them, got a couple of cities. That is Cyclone. And then they have Japan, which is going to be interesting. Japan is in no man's land. I fully expect Japan to make a run at like Canada or the US. They should have sent troops over there immediately and just started conquering, because we would have been forever trying to get up there to them. And you don't want to at war like 4 different nations on the way up. Philippines looking strong though with a navy there. I don't think they're going to expect China to have any military, any navy at all, but yet they do. So this is going to be interesting, because normally China would just go land units and march, right? But with Japan entering, it's kind of a new little wrinkle there. We do have some people going after Australia. Japan, which is a good move to get Papua New Guinea, and then probably down into Fiji, like depending on what the resources are. Yeah, see, some of these towns just aren't worth going after because there's no resources in them. As we get down closer, like Brisbane and Townsville, not really strategical from a resource point of view. Nothing really down here. Sydney maybe with the electronics, but Alice Springs with the rares, that's a good one to get. So it looks like Philippines is going to grab that. And then Perth with, I guess just because it's so far from everything, you can kind of take that and be safe, right? No one's marching all the way down. Where's Diego? Where's Diego at? Is that Diego? Who's going to take Diego Garcia? The U.S. owns this way out in here. Isn't that just weird? India, Pakistan, Iran. So that gives you the view of the map from day 7. I'm going to keep chronicling this, so stay tuned. See ya. So it just kind of dawned on me I needed to do another update on conflict of nations and the war that we're having with Pyrrhus here. And you can see Spain is coming back through, first of all, day 12. Spain's coming back through France. Also, came up through Ireland. Spain doing an amazing job kind of putting some pressure up here. Greece barely holding on to life, like just needing some support, but getting hit by not only Romania, but Poland. It's been a little bit inactive, but if you go up further through here, like Kazakhstan, and I mean, look at all this Romania land that's way up there too. So Serbia has been putting some pressure on Greece, and as well as over here well, I mean, more Greece territory, right? Look at this. Greece just did a great job spreading out early and getting some supplies and stuff out, some materials that are much needed though. Mali getting some rogue states going on over there, so I have to clean that up. We had a huge battle down here, Cameroon, Angola, and DR Congo, and you can see there's a lot going on down here. I was able to sneak a little town there, Boma, though, all the way from Argentina, and then it went rogue, so I've got some planes coming at different places to help out here, but down along this border, man, what an incredible amount of fighting that went on last night. 10, 12, 15 stacks, just going heads up, artilleries, planes, boats, like, you name it. The kitchen sink came falling out of the sky on some people. It was nuts. But you can see, I do think we have made some major progress on DR Congo, and I think Ethiopia and Kenya are feeling confident with getting some big. Look at this. He went all the way back in and stole a city that far out. Going to go back into Isaro. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So no clear-cut winner on this eastern front yet, but it does look like our guys are getting ready to push in. Cleaning up some of these. South Africa made a run through here, and so they're cleaning up some lands and kind of getting back. Philippines brought some boats over to help do some damage, because you can see these little guys have been fighting and fighting. 2234, 2130. That's going to be a rough battle, but with these 5 ships bombing, I think we should be pretty good. So if you look on here, it's going to attack out of 2 on those guys, and then this is going to attack out of 2. So it's another 4-0 on the attack times 5, or no, 2-0 times 5. So you're looking at a 10 shooter there. That should even out the odds on this guy that's down here. So is that attacker or defender? Who is this? That's defending. So the defense gets a little bit of a boost there. So that should work out in our favor. Easy peasy. If you look over here, England they took this little island down here. We came back in. We eliminated a rogue state. Where was that at? It's probably going to be one of these battles down. Yeah, here. We eliminated over Boma. That was the one that was attacking us. I need to get a hospital in here, man, pretty quick to heal these little guys up. They're not doing good. So we've got an underground bunker, which is going to help out a lot. And I believe I put in, yeah, here's a military hospital coming in shortly after that, just to help heal those guys up as the lines advance. Threw a radar right up in here. Really sneaky move, though, to throw some radars in. People just don't expect us to have vision 1 or 2 provinces out, and I would say that's a huge thing on a team battle if you can have one guy just build some radar. Now this is not even upgraded. If we come into the tech tree here and we look at this on the radar here, we did sensors, we upgraded the range, but down here on the next one over, I believe it goes to like 250, 175. That's a little bit bigger of a range. Let's see. Research the engine, high frequency, all band radar upgrade to detect stealth. Like, that's going to be a really nice one. And then do we get, what's the range out here? 250. That's going to be huge for a ground unit. So I think it starts at 150. Let's take a look over here. 100. So really, let's look at what it is right now. See, I'm up to 150. It starts at 100. We did the upgrade for 150, but you can get it up to 250, and that's going to be a nice little addition on there. So a little bit of units in action. We've created a heck of an Air Force based out of Yaoundé, and you can see like these mobilizing strike fighters out there as we speak. But this is the only place with a hospital. So as we took damage overnight, we landed these planes. You never want to keep them on the ground. You want to patrol them unless you're trying to heal them. For sure, and then you want to get them on that ground and get them healing, and that's what kind of everybody's doing here. You can see all these planes are just needing some hit points added on, and so hospitals are very important in that sense when you need to get down there. UK took these islands over here, so we're gonna come over. I can't get over to that one. It just says disembarking, but it's not gonna go anywhere. So I need to figure out a unit over there. Let's just go ahead and take him over. We're gonna need him to go all the way up. Let's. I want to deal with the last little bit of Peru, and it's a really kind of a greed thing. from a standpoint of resources, right? Because if you look at the market, we've embargoed everybody, but everybody needs fuel, everybody needs electronics. We got people needing supplies and components. We got tons of things being built, and that's one thing that if you're going to be a support nation, like you get in the situation where up here, where we've got a lot of land to cover in here, you want to build up as much as you can of supplies, because everybody who's in the thick of things is going to be building like a ton of stuff. So be a team player. Make sure you upgrade all your stuff, especially if you have a 10-day ceasefire. But look, all these nations are still available too. And what I'm thinking about doing is once I clean up Peru down here, I've got to go deal with that rogue state before it spreads. And then I'm going to fly over here. I'm going to pick up another fuel place, because fuel is a big one. And then we're going to pick up another supply down here. And then after that, we're going to probably get on the boat, and I'm probably going to hit like San Jose and take that, and then just come right up the coast, basically Managua, and get the rares, and then hit this because they're all basically free for us, and that would be even more supplies compounded. So I want to see, is there anywhere else that we need to address? I think we got everything done. Japan is getting hammered over here by China. Boats and hoes over here. Look at these guys going, man. They are just, the machine is on for those guys. I don't know where Japan is going to go to or how they're going to defend, to be honest. Like, he's got just, I mean, an amazing amount of a fleet for day 12. And that's what his focus was, right? We all focused in certain areas. And so, like, mine was strike fighters. So I've got, like, 15 jets flying around, with more in production. He's probably got about 15 boats out here with, just some basic military upgrades for the ground units and tanks and stuff like that. So Japan did hit Hawaii though, so they're probably, I don't know, they're gonna move their capital over there or something. I'm not sure, but and then down in here, he's got some land, some little bit of lands left in here, but you can see he's really not taking much. The rogues took over, and he's not gone back in. So it looks like he may have gotten wiped out. Port Moresby, we'll eventually recover those. We've got our guy down here from the Philippines hitting some of this land in Australia, land grabbing. So if you want to take a look at the boards, and here we are. We got Cyclone at 372 on the VPs, but you can see from a standpoint, we've locked up the top spots. Poland, I think there were some family issues there, like a sick person or some sort of death in the family. I want to say I read that in the thing, so good luck to Canuck 3360 if that's the case. I mean, I hope everything's okay, but you can see how we're basically whittling away the rest of these towns down here. Kazakhstan down to 7 cities, and if we go down, it looks like we're going to be able to punch out Saudi. DR Congo should be down to like 3 cities tomorrow, easy. Japan is taking a hit, and Egypt has definitely took one on the chin. So some of these places will be down fast. And you can look here, like it's not looking good for Egypt. Egypt will probably be out by the morning. We're hoping, right? We can connect our borders here, take these last few lands, and then move on to help other players, right? So we'll be moving all through there. Look at India, land grabbing down here to close out the bottom of Yemen, and I think that's, what is that, Saudi territory, but that's Oman, right? I believe this is Yemen here. Yeah, Yemen. So a lot of going on, man, on day 1, day 2 of the full attacks, because it was a 10-day truce before we went on. So anyway, we'll be filming more of the battle, so stay tuned. Holla. Hey friends, B2. We're going to check in today, and we're going to look at day 15 of the Argentina match, and you can see that the game is over. We gained the necessary 3,500 VP. We actually ended up at 3,764 for the total. And so if you look at the top on the leaderboards, you have Cyclone at 456, Chase, Phil, Fuzzy Rabbit, Kadara, Hillbilly Reaper, Esvedin, myself coming in 7th, 8th is JL9, 9th Andre, and 10th is Shiro. And then as you go down, Krang, Master of None, and then that rounds out our team basically. So great work by everybody on the Last Legion side, and hats off to Pyre, who put up a great effort on the first day when war broke out. We had a 10-day truce, but due to a couple of inactives and some real life issues, we're not able to continue on. So if you look at the area down here that I was in, as far as South America, I was able to take Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia. Most of Peru I was getting ready to head into up here. Probably would have lost this battle. But I don't know. I mean, these guys were hurt, and they're level 1 and 2, and these guys are level 3. So I don't know what would have happened there for sure, but these planes were going to come in and support as well. So We were looking to finish off Brazil with the help of some of the guys up here. Cameroon was coming in, as well as Venezuela. So we would have had some extra help here. But after turning on everything, I gladly went around all these towns because I knew they were going to be stocked with troops, right? So we were just doing a VP grab at the end to try to end the game as quickly as possible. So you can see the mess that happened in Cameroon early on here. Everything was around Point Noir, Brazzaville, Boma, and Kinshasa. All the troops were here stacked up against one another. So kind of neat to see that with different ranges of artillery and air units and anti-aircraft stuff. It was really an amazing show of force right here on this border. That after a full 24 hours of fighting, we were able to break through and put DR Congo on the defensive and started pushing back into what was this province before, Angola, who had a lot of units stacked up and a very good defensive hold. So if you look up through the rest of Africa, like as these fights were going on down here, we had the rest of our team moving across here, grabbing VP, grabbing precious resources. Greece, who was in that main, you can see this Europe is just a mess. And this was probably where the best fighting was. And had Poland been able to be in the game here from day one, it would have made sense. We also had Sweden take a penalty. The Sweden or Norway, Sweden got started fighting a little bit early and had to sit out a 24-hour penalty. So his land is a bit broken because the other team took full advantage of it, which they should have. When you have somebody on a 10-day ceasefire, break it on the 10th day. You actually don't break it until the 11th day, and 0, 0, 0, 0 on the 11th day, not a minute before, or you incur a penalty. And that's the great thing with alliance matches that are made together. Like you don't have that opportunity to run before. Like you really have a team effort and strategy. And so Greece was able to hold its own against Romania and Serbia, who were really big forces early, who grabbed a lot of land. China was able to take Japan early in the game and kick Japan out like day one, and he was already halfway across the island with he had done naval and troops, and really showed up in force. Drove Japan out of here. Japan had to like run to Hawaii and then try to break into the States and hold some VP in there. But you know, as we were continuing on this quest through South America, we were just starting to get through here. Venezuela was come to Panama City, run the coastline basically all the way up to Mexico. By the time he would have done that, I would have had Peru knocked out. I don't know that I was going to mess with Chile. If you're Bolivia, you can attack and run straight down the coast and not worry about it. If you're Argentina, they can send troops from all these directions. So we kind of at a disadvantage when you're Argentina in that thing. You'd really want Bolivia and partner up and just run straight down the coast. It's probably the easiest territory you're going to take, as you know, that's as far as a main territory on there. So lots of great strategies with our team where because we had the South American continent, we were able to do air strikers, air strikers. Hold on. I always get the terminology: air superiority, and then strike fighters. We were able to do a lot of planes. So on day one, we had about 25 planes sitting in Cameroon to run missions against the AAs, to bomb artillery, to take out any air stuff that we fought. And it's too overwhelming when you have that much space with us way over here. It just worked out brilliantly. So hats off to our team, the effort that was put in by Last Legion on a no gold match, by the way. Not one coin of gold was spent, but a lot of guys that obviously have the subscription, the council, and that allows multiple builds and stuff like that. So if you don't have that, that's an absolute necessary to be effective in a map like this, especially if you get a 4x map or even faster, where you're not sitting around waiting for stuff to happen. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the chronicle of this battle, and it's a win for Last Legion. Have a great day. See ya.